you know what an aga and a butler sink are? Do you like English tea sets? And the cottage style? In this video, I continue my journey into the wonderful world of cottage decor, exploring the key features of this unique and unmistakable style. Stay with me for a full immersion into the magical world of English cottages and to get some ideas on how to add a country and romantic touch to your house. Hi everyone, I'm Laura. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, dedicated to the wonderful world of the English countryside. Today's video is the second part of a mini-series of 3 videos, dedicated to the key features that characterize English country cottages. In the first video, which if you haven't already seen, you can watch here on YouTube, the link is above and at the end of this video, I talked about 6 structural elements that most English cottages have in common, despite their wide range of styles and types. This video is the second part dedicated to the so-called cottage decor. That is, all those decorative and furnishing elements that characterize the interior of an English country cottage. In the first video, I talked about the first 4 key features of the perfect cottage style. I definitely recommend you to watch that video when you are done watching this one, because together they offer a fairly accurate idea of what cottage decor is. Again, the link to watch that video is above or at the end of this video. So, the first feature I want to talk about today, and the 5th in my series, is the country kitchen, which is definitely one of the most characteristic rooms in these romantic houses. Typical country cottage kitchens are traditional, rustic kitchens. They have wooden worktops and are often colored in soft pastel shades. They typically have more shelves than wall units. Wooden shelves where plates, teacups and mugs, but also aromatic plants, biscuits jars or tins for tea are usually on display. Often, old copper pots can also be found in these kitchens, hanging on the walls or the ever-present wooden beams. There are almost always curtains or valances, usually with floral or checked motifs, hung over windows or under the sink, and plenty of tiles behind the sink or the range. Speaking of sinks, the typical cottage kitchen sink is the so-called butler sink, which is a classic with an eternal charm. Butler sinks started to become popular in the Victorian period and were originally used in pantries rather than in kitchens, but today have become a must for cottage kitchens. I don't have one yet, but as soon as I can, I want to install it because I really like it. One of the most typical items in cottage kitchens is the aga, the beautiful cast iron stove that constantly releases heat. And for this very reason, it's not only used for cooking, but also for heating the house. This distinctive stove was invented in the 1920s by the Swede Gustav Dalén, but quickly became popular in Britain and today is an undisputed symbol of a rustic yet refined style. These stoves are very expensive, but they are almost everlasting, and because they are on all the time, help keep heating costs down too. So if you can afford to buy one, an Aga is certainly a good investment in the long run. Often in cottage kitchens, you can also find the so-called lat pulley era. I have one, and I must say that considering the chronic problem of storage in cottages, is really useful. Clothes dry quickly, and because I don't see them, sometimes I even forgot about them. Also, worth a quick mention is the retro-style roll-top bathtub that is typical of cottages. The one with feet, I mean, which is my favorite. Or, if you like a more modern style, the one on a fixed base. In the UK, roll-top bathtubs are still quite popular, especially in traditional houses and cottages. Do you remember the scene in The Holiday where Cameron Diaz takes a bath in Rose Hill Cottage? That's it, exactly a bathtub like that. These bathtubs are usually made of acrylic or cast iron and come in many shapes and colors. When I renovated my main bathroom, I had no doubt whether to choose a roll-top bathtub or a shower. A shower is certainly more practical, but a roll-top bathtub with iron feet is an absolute must in a cottage and makes the bathroom chic and romantic. Another key feature of the cottage decor are the china sets, such as mugs and dinner services in typical English style, which are usually displayed on dressers, but also on shelves or inside antique cabinets, often for purely decorative purposes. I love teacups, and when I visit an antique shop, I'm always tempted to buy one. The problem is that at this point, I don't know where to put them anymore in my small cottage. The typical teacups that you see in cottages are usually decorated with floral motifs and gold details, or soft-colored country scenes, and are very romantic. The tea set I have on display on my little yellow dresser is no exception. It is called Old Country Roses, and I found it in a little antique shop not far from my house. When I saw it, I immediately fell in love with it. Firstly, because I love roses, then because these colors match perfectly with my little yellow dresser. Then I found out that this classic Royal Albert line is still in production and decided to buy the set of plates too. They are gorgeous. A typical style here in England is the so-called mix and match, which means combining teacups with different designs to create a very personal and, of course, unique style. It's an unconventional approach that I really like. English china is famous all over the world and is an excellent choice for those who want to furnish their homes in a perfect cottage style with unique quality pieces. Another item that is never missing in a perfect cottage style are the beautiful cast iron, wood or coal stoves that we usually see inside the typical inglenook fireplaces. These stoves are a great alternative to the open fire, and today come in many sizes, shapes and styles. I like the more traditional ones, those with feet, so to speak. These stoves give the house warmth, not only in the physical sense, and an irresistible allure. One of the things I love most is spending winter evenings sitting on my sofa, reading a book or watching a film, next to the stove that lights and warms up the room. Perhaps with my cat Lilibet sleeping on my lap. You can't beat it. Last but not least, a cottage can never be without flowers. Cottages are full of fresh flowers or small plants that are on tables, window sills or shelves. Rather than traditional glass vases, in the English countryside, ceramic jugs like this one or vintage tin pot are very common. English people who live in the countryside love picking up flowers in their garden, but also wildflowers that grow in the fields, and adorning their quaint cottages with their colors and scents. Among the most typical flowers, in addition to roses of course, which are the English flowers by definition, there are the daffodils, which grow everywhere in England between March and April and create beautiful expanses of yellow carpets, a color that I love very much. Speaking of flowers, one thing you also see quite often in cottages are the flower baskets hanging on both sides of the front door. These wicker baskets are full of colorful flowers that fall down like a waterfall and make the house look particularly pretty and quaint. There are plenty of these baskets in garden centers and they come in different sizes and shapes. In spring and summer, you can find many of them ready-made too. The English love hanging flower baskets because they say that the sight of them lifts the spirit. And I totally agree. I love fresh flowers too, and when I don't have any available in my garden, I buy them at the monthly farmer market in Alton or at one of our local supermarkets, because they finish up the house very nicely and put me in a good mood too. There you are! Together with the 4 I mentioned in the first video of this mini-series, these are the main decorative features that characterize English country cottages. Obviously, there are others, because you could go on talking about cottage decor endlessly. And maybe in the future, if I have time, I will come back to this topic in another video. For now, I hope I've been able to give you an idea of how an authentic country cottage is furnished. And why not, some suggestions on how to add a country and romantic touch to your home. If you like the style, of course. You may like the cottage style or not, but it's certainly unique and unmistakable. It is a style that has inspired millions of houses around the world and represents a standard that so many people continue to refer back to when they decorate their homes. In recent years, a new international aesthetic inspired by cottages has been developed. It is known as Cottagecore and celebrates the country lifestyle 360 degrees, from furnishing to gardening, clothes and cooking. What strikes me is to think that all this is based on houses that, as I've said many times by now, started out as humble homes for farmers and craftsmen, and that over the past 7 centuries have completed a remarkable journey, going from Cinderellas of English homes to true princesses. Do you like the cottage style? Would you like to have an aga in your kitchen or a roll-top bathtub in your bathroom? And do you have tea sets or, more generally, English-style china in your home? As always, please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon with new content on the wonderful world of the English countryside. As usual, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to share this video on your socials. Thank you again for your support and bye!